woman's younger friend suddenly became ill and was diagnosed with a terminal illness. Upon hearing the news of her friend, she sent her a text message stating, "I am sorry to hear about your illness, LOL." Trying to relate to the younger generation, she believed, as some of you may have, the term LOL was for lots of love. Well, in fact, as many of you know, the term LOL means laughing out loud. The friend did not find the humor in her comment, which could have been prevented had she learned effective ways of communicating with different generations. Now, in a survey I conducted with my classmates, I found that 40% of you have problems communicating with a different generation. Effective communication is essential when giving a speech, interviewing for a job, or even giving a presentation at work. From the Merriam-Webster dictionary, the definition of communication is a verbal or written message, a process by which information is exchanged between individuals through a common system of symbols, signs, or behavior. Noting that different generations might understand messages differently can keep from having confrontations or misunderstandings at school, home, or in the workplace. Now, I've worked in retail management for over 10 years. I have managed from teenagers all the way to seniors, and I feel that I have a great understanding of the different generations. In my speech, I will introduce you to four different generations currently in the workplace today. Uh, the matures or veterans, the baby boomers, Generation X or Gen X, and Generation Y, also called Gen Y. I will tell you what makes each group different and what type of communication is common practice for each of them. Now, the first generation I'll talk about is the mature or veterans, which is the oldest working and living generation born between the years 1909 to 1945. They are a family-oriented generation who communicate face to face. Most of them grew up having family dinners at the dinner table and talking to each other about their day. While communicating with this generation, remember that they did not grow up using the same text or social media driven terminology, which could confuse your messages to them. Now, also, the mature generation had little to zero technology training, which can make them a little more difficult to train in today's workplace requiring such use of technology. The second group, uh, called the baby boomers, is our largest current generation in the workplace today. They are born between the years 1946 to 1964. During the baby boom, the push for better education gave this generation more opportunities, but also made more competition for better jobs, which in whole makes baby boomers more understanding of the tech terms that the younger generation speak. Uh, that being said, the baby boomers may look down to the younger generation's workplace in the workplace because they feel the experience they have should beat out college degrees with no experience. The third generation, which I am a part of, is called Generation X. We were born between the years of 1964 up to 1980. We are a very independent group who do not like to be micromanaged, which we are easy to communicate with since our generation has adapted well to technology and uses almost all forms of communication, such as face-to-face, electronic, and social media, a mixture of all three of them. Now, for that reason, we are up to date on most of the social media lingo or language. The last generation, or the fourth generation talked about today, is called Generation Y. They were born after the year 1981 up to the present day, and they were raised on technology. This group is socially connected with so many people who make them a much easier group to communicate with. For that reason, this group uses the most non-traditional ways to connect with people, such as Facebook and Twitter. They are much more used to being connected with people, which makes their personalities much more open and easier to communicate with. In conclusion, each of the four generations I discussed, different ways of communicating and different backgrounds, which can make working with one another a challenge. I've discussed why they communicate in different ways, which is due to the times in which they grew up and why technology plays an important role in the way we speak to each other. Facebook, email, cell phones, and face-to-face communication give us much more ways of connecting than ever before. And knowing that some people you meet may not be familiar with the language used in each. Remember, when talking to the matures, baby boomers, or even the Gen X generations, that hashtags, slang, abbreviations may have different meanings to them, which can create different outcomes on how your speech is interpreted.